Welcome once again, all you Warhammers and Warhammies, to the fastest Mega Minute to date. I am your host, Big M, along with my co-host, who's finally here, Cole C. How you doing?
I'm doing great, even though I was a little slow to that last take, but it's all good. It's all good. I'm making it up in the Mega Minute.
Yeah, we got it. So
it'll definitely be longer than 1 minute, everybody, as will this intro.
Again, we're gonna squeeze about a half hour of information in a minute's worth of information in a half hour time. There you go.
Yes. I don't know how we do it.
So essentially what it kind of all boils down to is the internet is currently on fire with everything regarding the legacy armies about the old world. And I thought that, since you weren't available for the main episode, and I really didn't touch on it at that point just because it was like a boohoo, move on, I thought it required a little bit more of a deep dive. So to cover it overall, essentially what it is, and I have this here, this is actually what came out back in May, an article that basically said, these are our core factions, and then here's the list of legacy factions. Now again, even then, back then it said, these legacy faction army lists will be made available for free as PDFs as a service to fans who have the classic armies on the shelf, so they can still bring them to battle for old time's sake. We don't plan to publish rules for Warhammer Age of Sigmar models, except for those units that were part of the game and setting during the final edition of Warhammer Fantasy Battles. Which I don't know about you, that seems a little weird to me.
Yeah, definitely was a strange way of putting it back then.
Yeah, I mean...
And maybe should have been our red flag.
And then, of course, the major change, they really didn't reverse course or anything on that. The main thing is now they're saying these armies are not going to be tournament legal.
Right. Yeah, if you're not one of the core factions, then we aren't going to worry about balancing you. Not that I thought they were going to balance much of this anyway whenever it comes out. At this point, especially.
That's true.
It's feeling more like it's going to be 30K, where it's, hey, we released it, we threw it out into the wind, and cool, we'll be back later if we have another book for you.
Yeah. So real quick to get into kind of like touch on one other piece about some people griping about old models, blah, 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 stuff like that. Mm-hmm. We've been being told for quite a while that we're getting old models, and it's still going to be resin, it's still going to be plastic, it's still going to be metal. We've even covered it on the show. So
yes, yeah.
And
no, they've flat out told us, hey, we have the old molds. We're just going to reuse those. For most things, if you're lucky, your stuff will get a refresh or maybe a hero.
Right.
Done.
And again, one thing I think a lot of people don't understand is kind of the makeup of Games Workshop, not behind the scenes, but just kind of how they do things. So not only is this not a Games Workshop, it's a Forge World product. And on top of it being a Forge World product, it's also under specialty games, meaning it's where things like
30K and other such.
Well, 30K is
not
actually
even
been
30K.
moved over.
That's now GW.
Yeah. But so essentially Blood Bowl.
Yeah.
I don't even know what else it is right now, but it's a very small team with very small amount of resources. There's no way they're going to release 9 armies worth of models, of units.
Right. Right.
And again, like, this is, I think we kind of talked about this a long time ago, where I said, like, I don't know what they're going to do because, people are going to go, why should I buy 30-year-old model kit at $50 whenever there's a brand new kit for $50?
Right.
And that kind of leads us into where we are here. Now, a lot of people are talking about how, let's look at these. I'm scrolling here, so I have the core armies on here. So, like, they're saying, like, we don't want the models being used for both games.
Yeah,
it's kind of the rumor, or kind of what people are saying, which doesn't make sense to me, which means it's possible.
Right. Yes. At this point, it is very possible.
Like, Because again, I mean, we have to remember, Games Workshop is a
Yeah.
model company, not a gaming company.
Right.
They don't care
Right.
what game you buy the models for, as long as you buy the models, right?
Right.
Huh.
Yeah, wait a second.
Yeah, GW, you're gonna have to decide whether you're in the pool or out of the pool. You can't.
Yes. Are you a model company? Or are you a rules writing company that happens to make millions off the models?
Right. Because of your game.
Yes.
But like looking at these. So here, let's go up. So Empire of Man.
Yeah.
As far as I'm aware, there was not a huge Empire. The cities list was not a huge refresh.
No.
I mean, yes,
No.
they did retire a lot of kits, but there's
Right.
still kits that are here. They're going to be used by
Yes.
these guys.
Right. Yeah.
Steam Tank, namely, like they've said, Steam Tanks are going to be all over the place in
Right.
Empire
Steam
Man.
Tanks, a lot of sculpts that were just actually discontinued a few years back from the city's book, in the last actual city's book before we got the current one. So, I mean, that's half of what we're seeing here, too. And the Empire Man, the Dwarven
Right.
Mountain Holds, and the
Like,
Wood Elf.
Looking
stuff.
at the Dwarven Mountain
There's-
holds, here the kits that aren't available: Warriors,
Mhm.
Miners, Rangers, Thanes.
Right.
The
Yeah.
rest of the line is still existing and still present.
Right.
And again, it's the same thing for Warriors of Chaos. Literally, they updated the Warrior
Right.
kit, and that's about it.
Yes. Yes. The Warrior kit doesn't rank up as good as it used to, but,
That's why we got the
That's
bigger,
probably for the
bigger
best.
square bases now. The Orc and Goblin tribes, again, we had what? The regular Orc boy.
Mhm.
They're not in use. Everything
Yeah.
else still is.
Yeah, all the Savage orcs actually, I think, are the same ones
Yeah.
from Fantasy. Yeah.
Well, again, so that's one of the other issues. We've been getting rumors for 4th edition that we've been hearing that Bone Splitters will be squatted.
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
We'll see.
I don't know. Like,
There's so many people who just love playing that army, though. I feel
well,
like
I think
it's not a
the
huge
4
number. It's
people
like
that
4
play it
people
love it.
that. Right. There are 4 people that wave that banner very high.
Yeah.
We'll put it that way.
I could
Then again, they've done things like that in the past, so.
let's say I wouldn't if they squatted Bone Splitters. I wouldn't be shocked,
No.
but I wouldn't put any money that they will.
I can see what you're saying. Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
like in the last couple days, I've heard that people were talking about how Beastmen are going to get squatted. The whole army.
I don't see that.
No, I don't-
that whole army just going away. Nah, I don't see it.
No, I don't see it either. And again, and then you have the Wood Elf realms where
We
the
used to have all
entire-
that, just yeah.
well, the issue is the entire Sylvaneth army comes from this line.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make any sense to me.
No, it
It just doesn't seem to hold
really
water.
doesn't.
So again, what the reason for it? I don't understand.
No, I don't have a good reason for why you wouldn't want these models to go back and forth, anything like that. And even if it was, as we've been told many times, hey, in the early stages, not going to be a whole lot of these as new kits.
Yeah. Well, that's
Just over time, we could have seen more stuff as we went,
Also, I assume what this means is also I don't know if I was thinking about it whenever this article came out, but if you remember, whenever this was first announced, they were showing all sorts of key art and concept art of Kislev and
Yes, I do.
um,
I think that's what a lot of us remember is because we got all excited. Like, wait, well, there never was a true Kislev army that I know of. Like,
Yeah.
hell yeah, I want to have some bear cavalry get in there.
So I'm wondering if it's going to be if they're not going to expand on it and they're just going to bring them back like they used to, how they had the Kislev and can I remember the Asian?
I forget what the other. Yeah, I forget what that faction was called now. Now I feel bad because it was pretty cool looking. It was kind of it was an Asian inspired like China era. I can't even think of what the era would have been called, but yeah, no, it was pretty cool looking. I'm wondering if something happened because wasn't our first look at that pre-pandemic or somewhere around there?
I mean, it came out shortly after Warhammer 3.
Okay, so yeah, around then, I suppose, because I
Because
think we started playing Warhammer 3. That was late 2020, early 2021. Can't remember which is
Yeah, it
when
was
we
in that
started
ballpark.
that. So,
but yeah, I mean, it was very interesting because I thought, at that point that the main armies were going to be essentially Kislev and Khorne because that's
Right.
what it was in Total Warhammer. And
oh yeah, no, that's right. I forgot all about that. I figured that's why they were going that way. And I'm wondering, somebody bit off more than they could chew in a meeting and said, "Yes, we're going to do a Kislev range," and then partway
Yeah.
through it, it just got sacked because somebody else went, "Why are we making a whole new range, whole new group, whenever we all know everyone likes Bretonia?"
right.
I mean, personally, I think you would have sold just as much Bretonia as you would have Kislev,
Yeah.
but personal opinion.
But yeah, I mean, it's just going to be weird that that we're missing out on things. Like I said, for me, as someone that didn't play fantasy, I just like the armies that they have here are like.
It's such a small smattering of them.
Right. Well, I guess basically, like, if you look at the core factions, like how we kind of talk on the channel about how hey, first you got to come out with your normal thing, and then you get to go weird.
Right.
This is the normal stuff. So this is like for the
Right.
people that don't want to be adventurous and they don't want to find anything.
Yes.
That's just okay, we've covered our bases, and then the other, all of these are the ones where the weird stuff to draw people in.
Right. Yes. No, you're looking down this list: Dark Elves, Skaven, Vampire Counts, Demons, which you already make all the demon kits.
Right.
Why is this not just an auto include?
You're already sharing them between two games. What's another?
This one was free.
Well, actually, I think the demon kits are also used in 30K, aren't they?
They very well may be.
Probably.
At least a few pieces of them might be. They're definitely both used in 40K and Age of Sigmar. So
now, again, it's no secret that I was hoping mostly for Chaos Dwarves, but I'll be even honest here, and I'll be as non-partisan as I can. I'm honestly actually shocked whenever I saw them on this list.
Right.
I honestly
that they were even going to get anything.
Right.
Yeah.
I was honestly expecting them to like that was never a real army.
Right. Yes. Yes.
But I just can't imagine an old world game without these guys. No zombies, no demons, no ogres, no lizardmen, no ratmen.
The Vampire Counts one gets me because that was an army I remember playing against a lot whenever I played fantasy battles when I was a kid. And ogres were the dominant army forever. Maybe that's why they were like, hey, this isn't tournament legal because we don't know how to balance it from then. We don't know how to do it now either. So who knows?
And again, just to be completely clear, at no point in time did I expect, whenever this first came out, I read it as was, and I basically saw it as hey, we're going to be telling a story here, and we can't fit everyone into that story. So here's going to be the main players, and when we get done with this story, we'll shuffle it up. Maybe we'll move out wood elves and put in high or dark elves. Maybe we'll bring some people in, take some people out.
Yeah.
And then everyone will kind of get their day in their sun, and everyone will be able to get to play with their armies.
Right. And it was just a cool way to say, hey, even though you're not one of the ones in the sun, you're still going to get a free PDF of the rules so that you can play it with everyone else.
Right. And
Awesome.
so I know a lot of people online are talking like, well, who cares if it's not tournament legal for the official GW? So, again, as Age of Sigmar players who's been through Legacy,
Yeah.
Legacy always fell typically underpowered, but there were some things that were just
Ridiculous.
Like
yes, that couldn't be there. Yeah.
Right. Like for me, like it was the flame cannons for the dwarves.
Oh, I remember that small time. Yeah, I forgot there was one Forge World Wizard for a little while there too. That I can't remember who it was.
That was actually the named. If you watched my episode, that's the wizard is actually the name of the book that the Chaos Dwarves had their closest single army book in. It's some weird thing. It's like Toracons or something like that.
Something along those lines.
But like the flame cannon was pick an army or pick an enemy unit within 12 inches. That army receives D6 mortal wounds. At the end of the turn, roll a die on a 4-up. They lit on fire. They deal another D6 wounds, like mortal wounds.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I'll just take 4 of those, thanks.
Seems okay. It should be balanced and fair and fine.
It's a nice hero you got back there.
It's a nice army you got there. It'd be a real shame if something happened to it.
But yeah, like, so the issue isn't even necessarily, I can't bring these to a GW tournament, which, like I said, kind of stinks because half of my dwarf army is STLs, so that would mean I would have to paint at least half of the whole army in order to be able to go to a GW official event. And so I was going like, okay, well, even if they're only quasi-competitive, I'll make a dwarf army. Chaos dwarf army. Right. And so the issue is like, okay, let's say I want to go to Mini Wargaming has a tournament or whatever.
Right.
The problem is it's very, very unlikely that their power balance is going to be in scale. So you're either going for last place, or you're going to break something and get last place.
Be that guy
in Sportsman.
Yeah. So here's what I think is going to end up ultimately happening: is a lot of the people who are very excited about the old world played in the OG fantasy setting in 8th at least. They all also remember MoComp and things like that, where the community took control of the comp.
Yeah.
And turned into 9th Age.
Yes.
Did GW just make updated 9th Age for everybody because it's about to get comped for all of these ones that are like, these aren't official because they're not balanced, and now either the community will balance them or rewrite shit?
That's true.
Like,
and honestly,
they're gonna sell everything once, and then in a few months, everyone's gonna go, "Cool, GW did it wrong. We're gonna fix it," because it's that mindset of people who are used to doing that already.
That's very true. That is a very good insight that I wasn't even thinking of. But yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, they've already done it multiple times. Why wouldn't they do it again?
Right. I mean, this is a lot of the people who are, I feel like the people who are most excited live through that era of Warhammer. And they're just looking at this going, well, we got to roll up our sleeves and do that again.
Right.
Fuck.
Back to work. Now, as a quick side note, I would like to point out to GW that this whole thing could have been, diverted if they would have followed my idea and just make this Apocalypse Age of Sigmar. And you just come out with squares that have round holes in them, and we'd be done. We'd be done with all of it.
I think we both thought that was a great idea. It's just basically say, here's the Age of Sigmar factions. The ones that don't make sense to be here won't be here.
Yeah.
And you see how you all are on squares or on circles? We're going to make these special movement trays that they just slot into.
Yep.
And we're all done here.
Right.
But we didn't. We said we're going to make Old World. But not
tear off the Band-Aid.
Only half of it.
Tear off the Band-Aid. You saw a wound that was almost healed, and you were like, I got a special salt for that.
Let me get the sharp knife. It'll be good.
Tabasco infused salt. Let me get that.
And that, I know you're not on Twitter. Oh boy. Whenever it came out that these weren't going to be tournament legal.
Oh yeah.
The salt was real.
Oh, well, I mean, again, this is one thing that's like, so
there was no way to spin this at this point to make it seem like a good idea.
Well, like I said though, like since the old world hype was starting to really build, every reveal show, anytime there was Age of Sigmar, the chat was completely overwhelmed with, who cares about this? Age of Sigmar is now going to be dead, blah, 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 blah. And I'm sorry.
In one fell swoop, we fixed that in one shot.
Right. I mean, it's just like, I don't know what it is about the fantasy community that is just hyper vitriolic.
It is. It is a very hot, cold community. Either they will love you and sing your praises, but god damn if you step out of line.
That's like, I highly doubt, no matter how much I enjoy this, I highly doubt I would go to a national tournament event.
Right. Here's the thing. If I'm going to go to a big national event, still play an Age of Sigmar.
Right. Yeah.
Like, am I excited to hang out with all my buddies and play this because I've got the army sitting behind me that I was still planning on painting anyway? Yep. Is that army, it was never planned for it to go to a major event? Correct.
Right.
So
now, with all that being said, there's one thing, there's one string that really breathes into life about the, hey, we don't want our Age of Sigmar model showing up in Old World.
Right.
And that is from we gotta go on a little bit of a walk. So a couple days ago, Honest Wargamer Rob put out a video about his future predictions for 4th edition or 2024 and 4th edition as a whole.
Right.
One of his predictions for 4th edition as a whole was Chaos Dwarfs are coming in 4th. And he said that's why Chaos Dwarfs are not in Old World.
Because they're going to be coming.
Now okay, fine. And he said,
okay, let's buy into the Kool-Aid.
We're not done.
Yep.
We're not done yet. So he said that he had no inside information on that.
And I believe that a lot of GW employees have been told, don't talk to Rob.
Flat
out.
I guarantee you, anyone caught talking to Rob will get
he's got a poster inside of there, and it's got his face on it. It says, do not speak to this man.
So, TGA, the Grand Alliance forums, there was a channel or a thread about 4th edition speculation. And someone brought up his speculation of Chaos Dwarfs are in 4th, and that's why they're not in Old World. I believe the person's name, the extra person I haven't talked about yet, I believe their handle is White Fang, I believe. I forget, it's White something wolf related. They are, so far to date, the #1 most accurate rumor leaker. We don't know if he's inside GW or whatever, but he was, out of everybody, whoever said, like, this is going to happen, then this is going to happen, then this is going to happen, he's the most accurate.
Okay.
He shows up in the thread, and all he does is he replies to the person who posted the thing about Rob, and just put this in all caps, and that was it.
So that was enough for a lot of people.
I mean, whenever you have someone that's making accurate predictions 2 years out, constantly and consistently.
Yeah, I mean, you listen to that guy.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Now,
he either works for GW or is a buddy of somebody in GW who doesn't mind bullshitting with them particularly about it.
So here's what's really fun. So prior to us recording tonight, Rogue Hobbies, I think Lois, I forget which version of the name it is. She was talking about, she was doing like a Q&A, and someone asked her, who do you think the GW leaker is?
Yeah.
And she was like, I don't know, but it's probably someone very unhappy with their job. And here's the thing. The GW personnel has turned over so much.
Right. That it's hard to find, in my mind.
Right.
There's a very small group of people who are happy working there.
I was going to say, just there's a small group of people that have been there long as this consistent
is
leakage.
This person that leaks. Yeah.
So here's who I think it is.
Hit me with it.
I think it's Pete Foley.
If Pete gets sacked suddenly?
No. The man at the top. He himself
is just gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna leak it all. It's fine. Who cares?
I mean,
to be fair, sometimes when it's good news, if he were to do that, it would hype up a lot of people and be very good press.
I'll tell you though,
right now, that is not good to be doing, and he should get off his keyboard.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I don't remember the last time White Fang gave out bad news.
I mean, technically, this could be considered bad news because it's just saying, yeah, GW just...
No. If I have to choose between Chaos Dwarf Old World, Chaos Dwarf Age of Sigmar,
you're going to pick it, Chaos Dwarf Age of Sigmar. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah.
So that's my thought. That's my
We're just
dive.
going straight to it's Pete Foley.
Who else could it be? It's not Peachy.
Boy, not Peachy. Good. Good. I don't want people to start losing their jobs because we just sat here and went, well, we're just a couple of guys, and we realize only 5 GW employees have been around this long. So,
Pete's not going to fire himself.
look, there's got to be 1 or 2 that we don't see their faces. They've been there for a little while.
But no,
I'm sorry, the 2 of you just got sacked. Anyway.
Yeah, so I said, I mean, I think, I don't know, man. I don't know where Old World goes from here. I'm interested to see. I watched Gorilla, I can't remember his name.
Gorilla.
Man Who Reads Book.
Okay, yeah. Yep, Man Who Reads Book. There we go.
Man Who Reads Book. He went through, I watched his video on the Dwarven Mountain Holds. Almost nothing has changed, so...
Right.
I didn't look at points, so I'm hoping...
You're hoping for some decrease, I'm assuming?
Yeah,
or at least that there's some better balancing of?
Yeah, I really don't want to just go, like, bare bones minimum warriors and then just the rest a giant block of hammerers.
Yes, that wouldn't be bad.
I mean...
It was what you already have in a fantasy army.
I mean, like I said, I would just need about another 50 hammers, and I would just put them in. I could just see how long I could put them out.
How wide that line could be.
Put a Warden King in the middle, whole thing across,
and then 49 wide.
Yeah, if I could just do like 100 wide and just walk file straight across and just touch something.
Because every combat you just wrap completely and all 100 of them swing. Yep, there we go. There
has to be something. There has to be a rule.
I hope it's out there. The two of us somehow missed it.
Yeah. I like I said, I have not watched a review on the full rule book yet because I do not have enough attention span to learn an entire game system.
That isn't out yet. Yep, same.
I'll get my book in a month.
Whenever I know we're all going to get together and play it.
Yeah.
That's when I'll figure it out.
Yeah, and then we'll let Chuck tell us what how to play, and then we'll do it that way, and then go home and find out. Oh no, he didn't read that right.
Oh, Chuck didn't know anything. That's never mind.
I still don't know if you can shoot through a unit or not in eighth. That's I've heard no and yes multiple times to that question.
I just don't do it to make my life.
That's what I do too.
Make my life easier. So the hell with it.
All right, so yeah, that's our take on it. I don't think it's I don't think it's a smart idea. There is nothing preventing them from just saying, "Hey, these guys aren't in the cards right now.
Right.
We're going to release the PDFs. What we'll do is we'll take 2 or 3 every quarter, and we'll do an MTO.
Right.
And we'll just make extra money. And then if there's something wrong in the PDFs, we'll give it a little bit of a balance when we do a balance pass for everything." And that's what you get.
The only thing I think I do question for GW is the made to orders that they're going to do for a little while and then stop.
Yep.
I think if I'm GW, I overrun it because I have made the money the last few years for Old World, make as much as I think I will ever need to sell, or just kind of a silly amount, because let's be honest, most all of it's going to get bought this week, within the next month.
Right.
Most of what's going to be bought for Old World will be bought. So my storage space will be small. And then I don't have everyone who's also online bitching right now that their army is made to order. And whenever you order it, I'll just tell the people to pull it out of the warehouse, send it to them, whatever.
Right.
We still have 500 more of that one kit. Who cares?
Yeah, I don't know.
I get why GW does made to order. It helps their overhead and all that, whatever. And they should have just run enough of it that they'd be done. Set the molds back in whatever cold storage they had those molds in for God knows how long, because apparently they kept them, and call it good.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I feel like there's more effort put into this, or I guess there's going to be the amount of flack they're receiving for this.
Yes,
is not equivalent to the amount of money they could have made.
Right. Just by not, even if, like, you didn't announce any of this until after it all came out. Like, the fact that all this came out
Friday
before the pre-order, I want to know how much money got lost in that.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
well, I'll tell you what.
It's not zero.
I guarantee you, if this would have came out Monday instead of Friday, there would have been people throwing their flaming books through the front windows.
You're damn right. You're damn right.
So, again, just another instance of Games Workshop hating money. And
No. Games Workshop loves money. They don't know how to make it. They make it in spite of themselves.
Yep. Once again, GW stumbles ass backwards into success.
They better thank the founders who laid a good enough framework that they just couldn't mess it up so long as they kept trying.
I just, I don't know.
It's a good thing they're a model company.
God damn it.
Because they're really bad at this rules thing.
Well, okay. So, anything else you wanted to touch on base before we wrap it up?
Not really. Just final prediction 1 year from now, and we're talking about it, is we're going to see the whole community grab hold of it and make it their own thing, and they'll thank GW for the bones, and that'll be it. That's my prediction.
I think you're spot on. I think we're going to get about halfway through the books. Yeah. Because basically what's going to happen is people are surprised by thing they were told. That's
right. No, I agree completely. Those of you out there who, especially for the core armies, are surprised that you're not getting brand new models, I advise you maybe write down what you read. That helps me remember things. Sorry.
Here's another one. This isn't Playboy. You're actually supposed to be here for the articles.
I do get the pictures are really good in this, though.
I've had the Orc Boys on Boars the majority of the episode. So it's a
Nice,
good picture.
nice.
It's a good
Okay,
picture.
okay.
Oh, the other fun thing with the Chaos Dwarf rumors.
Yeah.
I've already seen people like, oh, well, I can't wait to see them. I'm sure they're going to show up at Adepticon.
Ain't no way.
No.
No way.
No. So here's a prediction I gave for the year, because I did do a little bit of a prediction.
Oh, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
And I think you're going to agree with it. I think January, first weekend in January, we're going to get 4th edition along with Stormcast and Skaven, and then we're not going to...
January or July?
July.
I got you.
4th
My
of July.
brain just looked down at the calendar and went, "Wait a second."
Yep, July. So July. we're going to get the 4th edition. We're going to get the 2 army books, and then we are going to get 2 more books in fall / winter. So
I think that
right
is
in that October area.
The beginning of that, very safe. Also very safe. I'm not seeing anything I don't disagree with yet.
And then 2 more in January.
Yeah, that sounds about right. We're going to release a new edition. We're going to pump out some books. We might overdo the number of books you're thinking, because they have been fast on new editions in the past.
Yeah, but they still don't break their release schedule.
That's true.
They like their first of the year, spring, summer, fall,
Right.
and then every once in a blue moon, something in winter.
I think
It's
you're
like
correct.
You get something in fall, or you get something in winter. You don't get both.
Right.
And so I think, honestly, I had, since I recorded the episode, I had a change of heart. I originally said that the fall winter release is going to be Orcs and Fire Slayers.
Okay.
Just because I have a feeling they really want to get Cruel Boys right.
Yeah, get Cruel Boys right, and re-release all the stuff that they have in the White Dwarf version
Right.
for the Iron Jaws. So
Right.
that can be in a hardcover book.
Right. So, but I'm gonna recant that. I'm gonna take out Fire Slayers. I still think Orcs,
Okay.
but I think we're gonna get some sort of elf, whether it's IDK or DOK.
Wow, I'm glad that you just threw a dart at a wall and said the most populous army. That's what it'll be. Real,
What are you
real
talking
good
about?
here.
Listen,
Yeah.
no one plays either of those armies anymore.
What are you talking about? I don't
Dawn
know
of the
how
King?
to play Age of Sigmar. I don't even know how to play without playing Deepkin. It's fine.
You're the one.
No, there's others. I
you're
see
the Brad of
other
elves
two on
right?
Twitter. It's
No.
fine.
Just because you went out and followed,
I found them. I hunted.
You went fishing for.
You're damn right I did, and I succeeded.
But much like the army, as soon as it leaves people's sights, they forget about it. So,
Yep.
again, I still say, as someone that fights you regularly, I just think other people don't know how to play the army. But perception is everything. It's a weak army, so you're going to be unstoppable in 4th edition.
You know what? Just give me my 2nd edition all yields list back. Let me punch
No,
people and
please, no
make their
more.
whole day miserable.
No
And
worries.
GW, I'll stop saying bad things about you.
No, you won't.
That's it. No, I will for the entire 4th edition. If I can have my all eel army punch people in the face and swim away, I will never say another bad word about GW.
All right.
You know why I said that? Because it's not going to happen.
Yeah. So I think with, let me think. So I know Caradron Overlords, they were introduced in the spring. Well, they came out in the spring.
Mm-hmm.
And I forget what other, I think.
So what are our first ones? Stormcast and Skaven. Our guess, right?
Stormcast and Skaven first and foremost.
Okay.
And then I think it might be Orcs and Daughters is kind of where I'm leaning. But I could
Orcs
see
and Daughters. Okay.
I'm not too worried about January, but because that goes into our next year.
So it's possible that in the fall, never mind. I'd say what I would do is GWs also release a Death Army with the Orcs, so that I've hit every faction.
Yeah,
but I know. I thought ahead.
You get two.
Thought ahead. Well, no, I would pull daughters down
Honestly,
and
I
put
feel like they don't
Night
necessarily
Hawk up.
care too much about the Grand Alliances. Like, it doesn't matter who's from
Right.
what.
They just so
It's-
happen to be there.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, and then that's going to be it. So this year we're going to get 4 armies. That's it. And like I said, January we'll get 2 more. Who knows what they'll be? Maybe, I don't know. Probably Lumineth. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then the first feasible chance to see Chaos Dwarves is going to be next spring.
I agree completely. Next spring is when, if you're lucky, we will get a whisper about them in winter, first quarter of 25. My guess.
Well, I would say
maybe fourth quarter 24.
Right. I expect to see some sort of something come out around LVO or Adepticon next year.
Okay, yeah, I'll give you that. And they'll probably try and hype it up, give us a long hype train again.
Get a box
just
set.
because it's yep.
Oh, don't even start with the long train stuff, man. Then.
Oh yep, long train, and then they'll just bring the train model on and be like, "We've brought Chaos Dwarves back, kids." Done.
Oh man, there's going to be so many. There's going to be so many hype train jokes and. All right, so that'll be it then. It's been a Mega Minute.